So we are 8 months into Brexit, and quite frankly, things are going very, 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 very wrong very, very quickly. We are potentially seeing, again, according to the leader of the Road Haulage Association, basically saying that the UK's logistics sector could very well collapse in about 2 to 3 weeks. And that is a shocking admission. And what's more shocking is that the government seems to be doing absolutely nothing so whatever about trying to prevent this crisis. It just simply has gone out and said, oh, hire more British people. You know, that's the level of standard that we have come to expect from this government. And quite frankly, it's shocking. But this just goes to show you how little solutions this government actually has to the big problems of the day. And we are getting to a point now where not only in logistics, but farmers are coming out and saying, hey, we haven't got enough staff to actually pick the fruit in the fields. It is left rotting there. And not only that, we haven't got the drivers to be able to get it to the supermarkets on time. We've got supermarkets with empty shelves because they literally are not getting the deliveries in. The fishing industry, also facing a huge labour crisis. Again, they can't get the people to come and do it. Again, fulfilled mostly by EU workers. The hospitality sector facing massive problems and holes in recruitment. And of course, they're trying to put prices up, the wages up to try and attract more people. Well, what's going to happen is that these wage rises will go to the consumer. So things will just get more expensive. This is the reality of Brexit Britain. Everything that we said about the problems that the Brexit would create is slowly but surely coming true. And of course, the Prime Minister's much vaunted idea of levelling up ain't going to happen if he continues with this. So today we turn to the Yorkshire Bylines, to this fantastic article. Basically, title says it all. Fessing up might be better than might be a better target than levelling up. So, but before we do jump into that, please do head down below to visit my Patreon page and a one-off donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, well, buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much to all those people who do support me that way. And of course, please do remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And thank you very much again for people who do support the channel in those ways. So, on with the article. So, it might be the summer recess, but that doesn't stop the Westminster rumour mill going into overdrive, with speculation that Rishi Sunak is fancying his chances as top dog. Feeding this latest frenzy of "the king is dead, long live the king" is the recent poll of Conservative members published on Monday, showing that Rishi Sunak is the clear frontrunner as the replacement to Boris Johnson. The poll from Conservative Home launched back in 2005 to champion the interest of grassroots Tory members, asked 853 members who should be the next leader of the Conservative Party after Boris Johnson. The answer is loud and clear about who is the darling of the members. It may be too soon for Johnson to be looking over his shoulder, though, but he shouldn't be worried. Another poll from the Conservative Home, also published on the 1st of August, showed that Johnson's support plummeted when Tory members were asked to name their favourite member of cabinet. Johnson didn't even make it onto the podium, coming 24th. And things must be even bad if it's only Robert Jerrick and Gavin Williamson and the unheard of Amanda Milling below you. It's the summer silly season, so one can expect a lot of lobby gossip to come to ease the boredom. But there are some substance to some of this speculation. If you want confirmation that this was the Spectator's Katie Ball's take on this, saying, "We've got a lot of talk that Rishi Sunak is on manoeuvres, but there are strong denials that this is the case. bang to rights then. Also, another YouGov poll, shall we say, for the Times, published at the end of January, suggests that this is not just Johnson's support that has collapsed. It's the wider support for the Conservative Party. Tory support in the Conservative heartlands in the southeast of England is down 8 points from the 2019 general election, suggesting the Tories could lose 17 seats. And according to the Times, Patrick English, a recent research manager for YouGov, said this: the results of the Blue Wall poll highlight just how difficult a job Boris Johnson has in bracing for his new voter coalition. In balancing his new voter coalition. As ever, Johnson is reliant on the vaccine being good news both for him personally and his way of party in the polling. The headlines in the past 2 days have been very positive, with Politico saying it's a jolly set of front pages for the government, with the Telegraph saying that holidays to France are back on, the Times, the boost for the summer getaways, and of course, even in The Guardian, millions hope for a holiday boost. It sounds pretty upbeat. But Johnson just literally can't help himself. Never mind one to miss an opportunity to try and crack a gag. The Prime Minister joshed up whilst in Scotland, saying that, quote, thanks to Margaret Thatcher, those who closed so many coal mines across the country, we got a big early start. And we're now moving rapidly away from coal altogether, says the man who is backing a coal mine being opened down in I think it's near Cornwall somewhere. So yeah, good move for there. He still doesn't realize, and probably will never learn, that if you're going to try and stand up, you need to understand that timing is everything. Know your audience. And in the run-up to the all-important COP26 meeting in Glasgow, this was neither the time nor the place. And according to the BBC, his report to have laughed and told reporters, I thought that would get you going. And as Johnson manages the fallout from this bad gag, the Chancellor's already signed off on a live events reassurance scheme worth about 750 million, whereby the Treasury will provide a guarantee for insurers to offer events organisers, giving them some money and some business certainty. So far, so good for Sunak. But as we head towards the party conference season, jitters will re-emerge from among the Tory backbenchers, especially those who sit on very small majorities. This autumn's spending review is going to be very tight. The new Economics Foundation report published last week reckons that some 666,000 furloughed jobs are still likely to need the scheme when it ends in September. And according to their modelling, hundreds of thousands could be forced into unemployment. This alongside the ending of the £20 uplift in the universal credit, affecting some 6 million people, could have a real impact in some of those red wall seats that the Tories won in 2019. Some Tory MPs are already waking up and spelling the autumn coffee, even as the Work and Pensions Minister, Coffey, announced the bad news for those in the receipt of universal credit. The Guardian report that backbencher Steve Baker, not the one to normally hold back his opinions, called on ministers not to ignore the cost of living crisis faced by people in real trouble in constituencies like this who had been tipped over the edge financially by the pandemic. So levelling up, however, is still the new mantra, but fessing up might be more appropriate. Things are not looking very rosily for the Chancellor at the peak of summer, but as the chills of autumn start to set in, he will have a big job on his hands. Not quite the same such as the golden schoolboy that he once was, but he will need to satisfy the likes of Steve Baker and the others in the Northern Research Group who actually expect to see some of their levelling up in the constituencies going ahead. And as we start to leave the worst of the pandemic behind, the Prime Minister is going to have to find a new rabbit to pull out of his hat. And that is indeed it. And I think you get to the point right here. This is it. That's the crux of it. We've said before, Boris Johnson is walking this very, very tight electoral tightrope. The more he appeals to the new Northern Tories and the new Northern voters, the less the Southern MPs, his Southern MPs and the Southern voters feel about voting for the Tories. And of course, if he appeals to the Southerners, then the Northerners give up on him. And remember, a lot of those Northern Tory MP seats were got in on very, very thin majorities. We're talking like 2,000 to 3,000 votes, some of them. So those are very, very wafer thin majorities some of those are sitting on that they could very easily lose. And they are going to want to see leveling up actually start to happen. And remember, the speech just a couple of months ago was nothing but guff. It offered nothing, that was concrete. It was all, salad dressing, but no salad. And Boris can't keep this up for long. So it's very likely soon that eventually someone will eventually say, why on earth are we keeping Boris Johnson in this position? And just as I said very recently that this year's Labour Party conference is going to be interesting, so too might the Conservative Party conference. Maybe not this year, but possibly maybe even next year. Like I say, who knows? I don't fancy Boris's chances staying around for the next general election. But with that said, please do hit that like, share, and subscribe button on your way out. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a wonderful donation link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can, buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much to all those people who do support me that way. And of course, we'll see you all next time.